Beginning, the princess who refused the galaxy. My name is Ethan Hale, and before everything changed, I was just another human working a dull job at a trading station on the outer edge of civilized space. I repaired cargo drones. That was my life. No glory, no adventure, just long hours fixing machines while massive alien freighters passed through the station. But the entire galaxy knew about Princess Alyra of the Alienempire. Not because she ruled anything yet, not because she led armies, but because she had done something no royal heir in galactic history had ever done before. She rejected every suitor, and I mean everyone. War princes from the Orion Confederacy, genetic nobles from the Lyrian worlds, even the terrifying warrior lords of the Zareth Dominion. Hundreds had traveled to her homeworld to win her hand. Hundreds had left humiliated. Some whispered she was impossible to impress. Others believed she had no interest in marriage at all. But the Alienempire had ancient traditions. Their heir could not ascend the throne alone. The princess had to choose a partner, someone worthy to stand beside her. Years passed. She rejected them all, until the day she arrived at Station K-47, my station. And, unfortunately for me, I was the first person she saw. The most unexpected meeting. I was elbow deep inside a malfunctioning drone when the station alarm suddenly blared. I groaned. Please don't tell me another cargo accident. But when I looked through the bay windows, I nearly dropped my tools. A massive ship hovered outside the station. Not just massive. Magnificent. Its hull shimmered with living crystal that reflected starlight like liquid diamonds. Golden engines glowed along its wings. The design was elegant, almost organic. I recognized it instantly. The Velaran royal vessel, which meant only one thing. The princess was here. The station commander nearly ran into the bay seconds later. Everyone stand down. Royal inspection. I wiped grease off my hands. Inspection? Since when do empires inspect repair stations? But before anyone answered, the docking bay doors opened, and she walked in. Princess Alyra. Even the rumors hadn't done her justice. She was tall, graceful, with pale silver skin that shimmered faintly under the station lights. Her long dark hair flowed like silk, and her eyes glowed a soft violet. Everything about her felt otherworldly, powerful, yet calm. She looked around the hangar slowly, studying everything. Then her gaze stopped. On me. Of course it did, because I was the idiot still holding a wrench. Her guards parted as she approached. Human, she said. Her voice was soft but carried through the entire hangar. Yes, Your Highness, I replied awkwardly. She tilted her head slightly, studying me with curious eyes. You are Ethan Hale. I blinked. How do you know my name? She smiled faintly. I came here to meet you. The entire hangar went silent. The station commander looked like he might faint, and I just stared at her. Why? Her answer stunned everyone. Because I have chosen you. Confusion across the galaxy. For a moment I thought I misheard. You what? I have chosen you, she repeated calmly. Chosen me for what? Her violet eyes held mine. To become my partner. The entire hangar erupted in shocked whispers. Even her royal guards looked surprised. I laughed nervously. This is a joke, right? It is not. But I'm just a mechanic. Yes, she said. And that is precisely why I chose you. That made even less sense. Look, I said slowly, I'm pretty sure there are princes, warriors, and genius scientists lining up for this job. I repair drones. Her expression softened. I know. Then why me? She looked around the station, at the workers, the cargo crews, the tired faces of people simply trying to survive. Then she answered quietly, because every suitor I met desired power. She looked back at me. You are the first person in years who did not care that I was a princess. I scratched my head. That's mostly because I thought you were just another inspector. For the first time, she laughed. A soft, genuine laugh. And somehow that made everything even more surreal. The real reason. Later, aboard her ship, she finally explained. My empire stands on the edge of crisis, she said. We stood in a chamber overlooking the stars. Our leaders believe the solution is tradition, an arranged partnership with someone powerful. And you disagree? I do, she said firmly. Why? Because power without compassion leads to tyranny. She looked directly at me. I searched the galaxy for someone different, someone who understands ordinary lives. I raised an eyebrow. And you found that on a cargo station? Yes. That's a pretty low bar. Her lips curved slightly. You underestimate yourself, Ethan Hale. I leaned against the window. Okay, let's say I believe you. There's still one big problem. What problem? Your empire probably won't like this. Her smile faded. You are correct. The opposition. When we arrived on Valera Prime, her homeworld, I immediately understood the problem. The Royal Council hated me. I could see it in their eyes during the audience chamber meeting. One counselor stood immediately. A human mechanic, he scoffed. This is an insult to Velaran tradition. Another added coldly, the princess rejected hundreds of noble suitors for this outsider. Elira remained calm. My choice is final. The council erupted in arguments. He has no noble blood, no political power, no military strength. I finally spoke. They're not wrong. Everyone turned toward me. I never asked for this, I said honestly. I'm not trying to take anyone's throne. The room fell silent. Elira looked at me. And if you walk away? I'd go back to fixing drones. She studied me carefully. Even if it means abandoning me? Her voice held something deeper now. Not politics. Emotion. I hesitated. Because suddenly I realized something uncomfortable. I didn't want to leave. The attack. That night proved why the council feared change. Because someone tried to assassinate her. The palace alarms exploded to life as explosions rocked the eastern tower. Royal guards rushed through the corridors. I grabbed the nearest security baton. What's happening? Insurgents, a guard shouted. They're trying to kill the princess. 3 armed attackers burst into the hallway. They fired instantly. I pulled Elira behind a pillar just as energy blasts scorched the wall. Stay here, I told her. You cannot fight them alone, she protested. I don't plan to. I stepped out and triggered the station security training I barely remembered. Improvised tactics. Distraction. The first attacker rushed me. I slammed the baton into his wrist, sending his weapon flying. The second fired, but I shoved a heavy table between us. The blast shattered the furniture. The third attacker charged directly toward Elira. I didn't think. I tackled him before he reached her. We hit the ground hard. The guards finally arrived seconds later and ended the fight. When it was over, the hallway was silent again. Elira stepped toward me slowly. You protected me. Someone had to. Her eyes softened. You risked your life. I shrugged. That's what partners do, right? The turning point. The next morning the council gathered again. But this time their tone had changed. The commander of the royal guard stepped forward. The humans saved the princess. Another counselor added reluctantly, and he did so without hesitation. Elira stood tall before them. You demanded proof of his worth. She gestured toward me. You have seen it, the council murmured among themselves. Finally, the eldest member spoke. Perhaps strength does not only come from power. He looked directly at me. Perhaps it comes from character. Ending. The choice that changed the empire. Later that evening, Elira and I stood on the palace balcony overlooking the glowing cities of Valera Prime. So, I said slowly, does this mean they won't throw me out an airlock? She smiled.
No.
Good start. The wind lifted her dark hair as she looked toward the stars. You know, she said softly, hundreds of powerful men came here seeking my hand. And you rejected all of them. Yes. She turned toward me, because none of them saw me as a person. And I did. You treated me like someone fixing a broken drone, she teased. Hey, respect the drones. She laughed again. Then her expression grew serious. The council has accepted my decision. That sounds important. It means one thing. What? She stepped closer. You truly are the one I chose. I looked out over the glowing alien world beneath us. I still feel like the wrong guy for this job. Perhaps, she said softly, but you're the right person. Far below, crowds filled the capital streets. Word had spread. The princess had finally chosen. And surprisingly, they were celebrating. I shook my head in disbelief. You rejected hundreds of princes for a mechanic. She slipped her hand into mine. Yes. And I would make the same choice again. In that moment, I realized something incredible. The princess hadn't chosen power. She had chosen trust. And somehow, she had chosen me, the mechanic from a forgotten station, the man who never wanted a throne, but would stand beside her anyway. Because sometimes the greatest stories in the galaxy begin with the most unexpected choice. And this one had only just begun.